What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Creator Chat podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing and looking into how to select your niche, as well as how to grow your channel on both YouTube and Twitch. We're going to change up the format a little bit, and each one of us is going to handle a topic during the podcast, as well as ask each other questions so that we can build not only our repertoire with ourselves, but with you guys as well. So the first thing we want to talk about today is finding your niche, and I'm going to hand the mic over to Brady, and he's going to talk about the niche, and I'm going to ask him some questions throughout it to make sure we cover everything.
Yeah, awesome. So, as you guys know, especially when being on YouTube, it's extremely important to have a general understanding of what you're actually doing. I mean, this podcast we're making is literally to put you guys levels ahead of the game because we were fairly new creators not too long ago. I know I started my channel a year ago. Hayden can say probably about the same around that time. We've been posting on YouTube, seriously at least, for that long now, and we've learned a lot, and we think that we can cover a lot in this that would provide extreme value to new and up-and-coming YouTubers and people, even if you're not on YouTube, just content creators in general, because that is one of the biggest growing things. And yeah, so the first topic, like we said, we are talking about is, of course, finding your niche. Now, when it comes to finding your niche, you really just gotta pick something that not only are you interested in, but has extreme just search volume. When it comes to actually ranking on YouTube and growing publicly, you have to realize that it's not just you rolling the dice every time you post a video. It's a genuine algorithm strategy that you can learn and adapt to and grow. There is no extreme luck in it anymore. There really isn't. It's more or less, if you can keep people engaged on your video and you can keep people clicking on your videos and providing value, you will grow as a channel. So that's extremely important to find where you fit in and what you can actually utilize this. So there's a couple good ways to find the exact niche you want to do. Obviously, first and foremost, you got to be passionate about what kind of videos you're making. There's no way you're going to be able to sustain making videos if you hate what you're doing. Obviously, there is going to be some times where you're not going to want to post, but you want to make sure it's something you have passion about and something you can actually speak from the heart about. For example, like me and Hayden doing this podcast, this is something that we feel like could help a lot of people and target people, but at the same time, we love talking about stuff like this, so it's really a win-win all around. That is how you decide your niche. Now, on the more systematic side, where you want to find out if it has enough ranking and it's going to be sustainable, obviously, if you're talking about, just for example, a water bottle, you're like, you can't obviously make a channel off that. You can't talk about that. So you want to make sure that it has something you can really go in depth with and explore. One of the greatest things you can use is there's a couple tools that I want to name drop here that you should definitely check out after this podcast. And that is vidIQ. Now, these have a free trial, but they are paid. It's where you can basically find out what people are actually searching on Google and YouTube, and you can see the search results, and it also lets you know if you should target that kind of video specifically. And then, of course, TubeBuddy is a classic one. If you guys have done any kind of research on YouTube, different tools you can use to actually help your channel grow, TubeBuddy is a fire one, one of the best known ones out there. And basically, these programs are just going to help you find your niche even more because you're going to be able to search up different topics, different things you might want to make a video on, and you're going to be able to see if it is worth targeting overall. And that is extremely important when it comes to, producing content. You want to make sure that it is search volume acquitted and also that you can actually enjoy what you're doing. So that is extremely important on that side of things, especially when it comes to your niche. Basically, that's about it for honestly finding your niche in the beginning. We're going to cover more stuff about how you can broaden out your niche in other episodes, but that is the most important thing you want to look at when you're starting your channel. Make sure it's a passion and make sure you are realistic about it. The best thing you can do for yourself when starting a YouTube channel is be as realistic as possible. Because that's how it's going to be. I'm telling you right now, if you think that you're going to pop off on YouTube, you're going to get 500,000 views in one day, it's not going to happen, but you can definitely reach that. The whole point is you need to keep people engaged in your content, provide that value, and enjoy what you're doing. And if you get that combo down, I promise you're going to see insane success on YouTube. And it really is fast growth. And, if you can stay consistent with it, you're going to see results. I promise you. I bet my whole life on it, seriously. But that's basically all I needed to cover for the finding your niche aspect. Hey, do you think anything else I need to know when it comes to picking something like that?
One thing that I know a couple creators talk about when you're choosing your niche and you're niching down is not niching down so far that you lock yourself into something so tight. Let's just say your niche is food and cooking, but you
Mhm.
decide you want to niche down even further into like desserts, and then niche down even further into just cakes and
Right.
cupcakes.
Yeah.
Um, so how far is too far?
Right. That's actually an extremely good point. I wanna point out something that I've seen. So a lot of people think that when you're in a niche, you have to cover just that certain aspect of the niche. Like somebody, I heard this on a TikTok one time that somebody said every single piece of content that can be created has already been created. You just need to adapt it to your channel and yourself. So while that isn't entirely true, it also is. For example, let's say you were an extremely ripped dude and you want to start posting fitness content. Well, what are you going to post? I mean, your niche is gym, right? But what kind of stuff can you post? You think maybe you can just post about different exercises, your diet, and that's it. You are so wrong. That is niching too down. Do not niche that down. You could make skits. You can make funny videos around that. You could show different tutorials on things. You can show what not to do. That's another big thing. You can review different stuff that you have your professional opinion on. If you're an insanely jacked dude, and there's a protein powder that's being talked about in the lifting community, if it's good or not, make a freaking video about it because people are going to take your word for it since you are involved in that niche. So like you said, Hayden, about niching down too hard, you don't want to do that. If you can really talk about you can honestly take your niche and find ways to talk about trending current topics for the most part, especially if new products come out, new things like that, or like a new update. I know with me running my YouTube channel, mine used to be based around Instagram, and I feel like I niched down a little too hard on that. I feel like I really could have opened and talked about more stuff like TikTok and just social media in general, different strategies you can use to grow your social media. You want to make sure that you do not go too deep because once you do, you're going to feel like you're trapped and you're going to feel like you're only pertaining to a certain audience. The broader you are, the more, your channel topics might be covered. But if you can also keep it broad and keep it all in the same niche, which you can do, you will see huge success. A lot of people on TikTok have done very well with this, and we're able to be like fitness influencers who make a lot of funny skits and do like trending relevant things. We're not going to cover too much about this, but like a good thing about it is like you can do TikTok trends and other current trends and it not even pertaining to your content. Like you don't have to rely it back to your niche because even if you even like mention your name or have your thing there, it is your content. Like you don't have to be extremely close to your niche all the time as long as you are trying to get people back through that and staying true to what you believe in and still staying true to your name. You can't be all over the place, but at the same time, you do not need to only make content on, that certain thing. So I'm really glad you brought that up. Do not get trapped in that. You might feel like you are, and if you are, feel free to take another approach with it. Some of those videos might not get a lot of views. I know when I was talking about Instagram, I would get views all the time on everything I posted. And then if I talked about something else, it wouldn't do as good. But I'm so glad I did that because I still had people who watched that stuff because they were genuinely interested. And, doing stuff like that really tests the water of your audience and really see who genuinely cares about you versus the people who just care about the Instagram content. So I'm really glad you brought that up. Do you think we should cover anything else about the niche topic? Because that was a very, very good point because niche is one of the most important things when it comes to making a YouTube channel because I'm sure a lot of people, when they first start making a channel, they aren't like, oh, I need to make a channel about my super awesome passion. It's more or less like, I need to make a channel and I need to figure out how I can actually, find a niche. So it's extremely important that you do know what you're doing and you kind of stay true to yourself in that aspect when posting content, or you will get burned out. I have faced burnout. I know for a fact Hayden has faced burnout, just from, not enjoying the content you post. There is ways to avoid it. And of course, we talk about this all the time. That is why it's really important to watch this podcast. But anyway, anything else, Hayden? Any other questions?
I know with niching down, let's just say in the gaming aspect, a lot of people watching this are probably either gaming content creators or they want to do content for gaming because it's
Right.
the easiest,
Huge market.
quote
It's a
unquote.
huge market.
When niching down for gaming, what would you suggest as your niche down like into a genre like FPS or niche down to a whole game? What would you say would be the best and maybe even the worst way to niche down in the gaming content?
So the hardest part about being a content creator is realizing that people aren't going to subscribe to you and watch you because it's you to start. I want everybody to realize that. If you are just clicking go live or you're just posting a YouTube video and you're just being yourself and providing no value, people are not going to care. A lot of the time when you are a new content creator or a new Twitch streamer or whatever, you need to be providing value, usually in the educational format. So when it comes to niching down, if you want to be an FPS player, well, you better be a freaking good FPS player, and you better be able to provide extremely good entertainment, better than anybody else. Remember, guys, this is a very competitive side of business. So if you want to play Valorant, Apex, and CSGO, for example, you better be good at all three of them if you're going to play them. You better not be a mid-tier player just playing to be funny and entertain, because there's already so many other Twitch streamers that are doing that. A good idea to do, if when it comes to gaming, is to, like, you see this all the time. I faced it. I know for a fact Hayden has faced it, because we have experimented with Twitch a lot. I know Hayden, I don't know if you do still stream for the most part. But when you are on Twitch and you're playing, you will have people who will come back every single day if you're playing the same game. And then if you stop playing that game, they will not return, because you are no longer playing that game. And so you're going to feel like that's kind of messed up, but you got to understand is people aren't just there for you. So it's really to your own discretion. The more games you play, the more variety you do. You need to make sure that the people love you and they're there for you. And if you're going to stick with one game, you should probably realize that most people are going to be there to watch you play it. Like, let's say you're an absolute freak at Apex Legends. You're like one of the best players, top 500, you're a killer. People are going to want to watch you because you're playing at such a high level that it's entertaining. Now, let's say you get off Apex and you go to like CSGO and you're only like mid-tier. Like, you're not even that good. People aren't going to want to stick around and watch you play. Like, they're not, because you are not the top dog. Unless you're like entertaining and funny, then some people will. But you got to understand that a lot of people are there just because of the game you were playing. You see this with Ninja. I mean, we talk about this, I feel like, a lot, because it is super important to understand, because every content creator can go through this. No one is untouchable. Ninja had hundreds of thousands of viewers every day, got to play with Drake, crazy, and now he plays League of Legends for like 3,000 people. 3,000 people. Ninja was the biggest content creator, the biggest pioneer in video game history, I can honestly say, and he has 3,000 people watching him a day. So that just kind of shows you that people aren't always there because they like you. Sometimes they're there because they like the way you play that game. So that's one thing you got to be careful of. If you are going to stick with one game, realize that you better freaking love that game. And if you're going to play a lot of games, realize that people aren't always going to want to stick around for every single game you play. That's one of the hardest things to truly muster up and swallow. That's why it is important to get your niche down and, understand what's going on with that. So, also, Hayden, I think my audio just cut off a little bit, but I think we can fix this. So, are you recording on Discord or? Yeah.
I am not.
Okay.
It'll fine.
Yeah, it's all good. All right. Anyway, my last audio might have got cut off there, but we're gonna move on to the next topic, which is something Hayden's gonna cover. Another extremely important thing that we could spend probably a couple hours talking about. But it is growing your YouTube or Twitch and how to really do it when you are a new creator. So Hayden, let's go ahead and just start talking about that.
All right, guys. Well, to grow your YouTube, I have down here Twitch as well, because they kind of go hand in hand with each other. Before you even decide you want to do one of these two, you need to make sure you have all your socials in line. Make sure you have everything possible to grow yourself off of these sites and in other platforms. Twitch is a huge one. If you're streaming on Twitch and you're not full-time streamer, but you're streaming for fun, you're streaming as a hobby, you want to do it full-time, that's your goal, the first thing you need to do is get off of Twitch. I'm not saying stop streaming. I'm not saying anything like that. It's more of you need to make content elsewhere. Twitch's discoverability kind of low-key sucks, and they're not doing anything to make it better for the creators. In fact, they're actually making it worse with all these new tags. But you need to get off the platform. Same with YouTube. If you're making YouTube content, that's all you're making, you still need to get off the platform and take advantage of something else with a higher searchability and growth rate, kind of like TikTok, Instagram. Twitter doesn't have a huge growth and searchability on it, but you need to make sure you get off the platforms and start making content elsewhere. TikTok's a big one. It's huge. I know a guy, Brady's cousin, was making TikToks on Call of Duty and Warzone, stuff like that, and he ended up carrying over. Brady, you don't happen to know that the total follower count he was on TikTok too?
It was insanity. I think it was I'm pretty sure he got like 7,000 followers just from TikTok, and he only posted like 10 videos maybe, but they did really well. you can cover that stuff. I'm sure you know some of the metrics behind that. We talked about some of
Yeah,
them.
because I talked to him a couple weeks ago. They were in, and on his first stream on Twitch, this is after the TikTok and everything already took off. He had like 200 to 300 viewers his first stream. That's all pulled from TikTok.
Yep, and real quick, just to put that in perspective, I've never had viewers that high, and I have done 12-hour streams before. So when Hayden says you should get off Twitch and post content of other places, he's 100% correct. Like you should not stay on Twitch all the time and record. It's more based off of what clips can you rip and what clips can you post on stuff like TikTok's huge. I mean, Hayden, you're gonna cover all that stuff. So just that story with the cousin and everything, like that should show you like what really matters when it comes to streaming. You, like Hayden said about Twitch discoverability, man, you got to be realistic with yourself. That's really the topic of this whole podcast, is that if you have one viewer, dude, you have to scroll through hundreds of pages to even find your channel. I mean, if you've ever streamed before, you know you've streamed with one viewer. People aren't going to find you. They're not going to find you on Twitch. I'm sorry, they will not find you on Twitch unless you are a freak of a player. And that's something where you can be really realistic with yourself, and you have to get a little bit creative. You can just go ahead and talk about like what Shiloh really did and how he actually, did that, because that's a really good topic to talk about.
Well, I mean, I haven't really talked in depth with him too much about the whole TikTok to Twitch and then Twitch streaming, but to look in a little bit of like the burnout that we were talking about earlier with finding your niche. His niche was Call of Duty. It was Warzone. He started facing a little bit of burnout on Twitch. And when I was talking to him, I was making suggestions to him what he can do to get rid of the burnout. And it related to getting off of the platform. He started uploading TikToks again. I talked to him about YouTube, so he might even be starting a YouTube channel and uploading actual videos separate from his streams, just to grow and to expand himself. And like that's what you need to do to grow. Whether it's your YouTube channel and you want to grow that, to hop on TikTok, or you're growing your Twitch, hop on YouTube with like 10 to 15 minute videos or 8-minute videos, whatever you want the video to be. Just make sure it's got content and it's viable to what people need. You need to fill a void that somebody's searching for. Whether it's, hey, how do I do this on this map, or how do I do this in Warzone? You need to supply a what's the word?
Value.
You need to provide value.
Yeah.
And answer their questions on your videos and on your content to grow.
Yep.
Just the way to go.
It's just being realistic. That is like literally what we want to tell you as content creators. You have to realize, like, you need to watch. Sometimes you just need to sit back and watch your content and say, why would somebody watch this? And would I watch this myself? And if it's no to both of those, or you do not have an answer on why somebody would watch it, more than likely that content's not going to do good. Look at what content does really well on YouTube. Extremely entertaining stuff that raises curiosity, or people who are professionals at stuff and are very educated, or people who are really good at video games and they're really entertaining. There really is two sides to YouTube. There's the educational side and there's the entertainment side. Entertainment has a lot more creators in it. However, you can do a lot of unique things to really be entertaining. Mr. Beast is one of the best entertainers on the platform.
Yeah.
He is insane because his videos are crazy. He does things that pique your interest. I'm not even a big Mr. Beast fan, and when I see a video about him using millions of different items or doing it's cool. It's like, dude, you don't see that much. Mr. Beast found a way to provide value and he killed it. And remember, Mr. Beast was on YouTube for 6 years with no success until he realized he's got to up his game, and he did it. And then you look at some educational people, some of these stock people who know what they're talking about. They make 3 videos a day and people watch all the videos all the way through because they want to get money and they want value. So just notice that the bottom line is you need to be providing value in some way to your viewers. And that might seem a little scary and you may seem like, it's not good enough or whatever, but it's not always going to be like that. But at the same time, you need to make sure you at least are providing a little bit of value. Like that's something that you can't just not talk about or not put into it when you're talking about your niche. So great point and great way of putting it too, because like I said, finding your niche and growing basically go just about hand in hand. That's why I'm really glad that this was actually fit into the same episode, because you just got to understand what you're really going up against. And once you do, you will feel a lot more confident in your abilities and a lot more confident in just the way you post. You will truly believe in your content, and when that happens, you will see sparks fly. Trust me, it's a great feeling. So,
Yeah.
I do have a
And
question.
yeah, go.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do have a question for growing on YouTube and Twitch. So, what would be your strategy? Because I know for a fact we would probably think the exact same way on this without even talking beforehand. What would be your strategy if you were a new Twitch streamer right now, or a new you? Actually, let's say hand in hand, because let's be honest, if you're on Twitch, let's say you're gonna be on YouTube. So let's say you want to stream and also post clips or like videos on YouTube. What would be your starting strategy for doing that? Like, just all around talk about it. We got tons of time. So just talk about what you would do if you were a new streamer again and a new content creator.
All right. Well, the first thing I would do is make sure I set up my YouTube, my Twitter. I would set up my YouTube, my Twitch, and maybe even a TikTok, and make sure they all have the same name.
Mm-hmm.
As one of the most important things to get you discovered on any platform is to have your same name as close as possible as you can across all platforms.
Facts. Yeah.
So if somebody's on Twitter and they're trying to find your clips from Twitch that you posted on your Twitter, they're going to be searching for your name. And if they can't find you by name, how are they going to find you? So let's go for a day in the life kind of deal. So you stream on Monday, you get some good clips during your stream, you get some viewers. How are you going to retain them? You're going to want to bring them back for the next stream. Yeah. So you can take your clips from Twitch, from that stream, and upload them to YouTube, upload them to TikTok, and stuff like that to draw in more attention. But uploading just like highlight clips from Twitch to your YouTube channel isn't really going to see you a whole lot of growth. Now you can look at people like Cypher PK is a huge one. This man's got 5 channels on YouTube, but he streams full time. At the beginning he streamed and just took games from his stream and uploaded them to his main channel. Courage JD is the same way. Who else? Tim the Fat Man. They were all just grabbing games from live streams and slapping them into their YouTube videos.
Yep.
These guys now are taking time out of their day. These are full-time streamers that make way more money than I'm ever going to make. And they're taking time out of their streams to record off stream to bring you guys different content, new content that you're not going to be watching 2 or 3 different times. And it's one of the things you're going to need to do. I would say uploading to YouTube 2 to 3 times a week. Make sure at the beginning you can take clips and stuff like that from your channel. But over time and over like a 6-month period, you want to get away from just uploading your Twitch content. You want to start recording other stuff.
Yep. And you just got to think about it from this perspective. What do you think would be better? Streaming 12 hours straight, hitting go live, getting 1 viewer and not caring, or maybe actually probably 0 viewers if you're a starter, streaming for 12 hours, getting no value out of it, not even letting the VOD save, and then hitting end and calling it a day? Or would you rather stream for 2 hours, take 30, 40 minutes of good content from it, break that down into YouTube videos, and then take, let's say you had some super funny clip where some guy jumped on you and you almost died, taking that clip, putting it into a website where it makes the TikTok video and your webcam fit perfectly. You see it all over TikTok. That's something you can also look into. Posting 3 to 4 TikToks, 2 YouTube videos, 4 Instagram posts, 4 Twitter things, all with only 2 hours of streaming. Do you know how much discoverability you're going to get off of that? For a guy who's run Instagram pages, if you put 30 hashtags in there and they're good targeted hashtags, do you know how many people are going to see that? It may not seem like a lot at first. You might only get 100 views on each video, but that's 100 views on each piece of content. You've just impacted close to 1,500 people, and that doesn't even include TikTok, which, let's say if one of those even goes a little bit viral, you could get an upward potential of like 10,000 views, which is going to net you followers, which even though they may not follow you on Twitch, they're going to follow you on TikTok, which then means the next time you go to post clips, you're going to see it again. And eventually, if you keep doing that, where are they going to go? They're going to go right back to your Twitch. It's a big, giant funnel. And that is something that, you know, we're trying to cover and let you guys understand is it's not just about the streaming or the content. It's more or less about knowing how to market it well, knowing how to reach people and knowing what you're doing, And, you know, I'm sure like me and Hayden, I know for a fact me and Hayden have done some crazy long streams and got no value out of it. And it's just a waste of time. You're genuinely wasting your time if you're going to sit there and stream for all that time and have nobody watch it. You want to focus more on the outbranching side of things and providing value. That's why a lot of people will play with their viewers. Like my cousin, Hayden was just talking about. He played. The reason why his channel got so big is because he would spectate people in Warzone. It was just a really funny commentary, and it was really, really unique. And he did that, and the people on TikTok ate it up. They loved it. So he would always make the videos extremely interesting, which would keep people watching for the full minute, which then he would then take those video clips and post full ones on YouTube, and thousands of people would go from TikTok to Twitch. Thousands of people. That's more people that will ever discover him on Twitch if he had one viewer. So you got to understand, Twitch and YouTube's discoverabilities to start aren't usually the best. YouTube is a way better than Twitch because that content does stay. But Twitch is something that you cannot just hit go live on and expect to go anywhere. If I hit go live and stream 14 hours a day without posting any content every day till I died, I promise you I would not hit the top. Promise you. It does not matter. If you're playing a very popular game, you will not be seen. It'll be very hard to do that. You have to learn to outbranch yourself and post content on other social medias. So, yeah, Hayden, I'm glad you went over the fact that like you have to get off just YouTube and Twitch. Like, I'm really glad you said that because that is extremely important. When it comes to, I guess, growing overall as a whole, how long would you expect something like this to see results? Like what I just talked about, that strategy. Because we already talked about if you just hit go live on Twitch, you're not going to see basically any results forever. I mean, forever. I know for a fact Hayden has probably spent weeks where he'll stream 4 or 5 days a week or, you know, post on YouTube 4 or 5 days a week without actually doing anything to truly market their content, and it's gone nowhere. So how long do you think it would take to see results on something like the strategy we just talked about? Because I will also give my estimate, and you guys will be pretty impressed, I think. So.
Oh, well, I look at somebody like Stockmo that you suggested to just for YouTube alone. And we see where he's come and where he started and where he's at now in just, 6 months, 7 months span.
Right. 500,000 subscribers is insane in 6 months.
And like we're talking about an even more discoverable tactic to get into YouTube and get on Twitch and grow.
Mm.
So, I mean, realistically, if you stick to it and you upload 2 to 3 videos on YouTube, you upload to TikTok 2 to 3, 4, maybe 4 times a week, and you're doing everything in your power to get discovered and grow, I could say you'd probably see some exponential growth in at least 2 to 3 months, somewhere in there.
Yeah. I was gonna say you'll see basic growth on a basic level in a week's time if you actually continue to post. You don't gotta post every single day, but if you have a decent upload schedule, you will see results. You will see some of those people from TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, mainly TikTok and Instagram, but you will see them come over to your stream, maybe give you a follow, maybe they won't ever watch, but maybe they'll stop in and say what's up. You never know. Just in a week's, 2 weeks time. But if you continue that, one of your social media platforms could genuinely take off. Like his TikTok, my cousin's TikTok, he's got like 6K followers on Twitch, but he's got over 300,000 people on TikTok because some of his videos got over 1 million views. You don't understand how important that is, how many followers he's gotten just from that one single video. It only takes one, guys. It only takes one video that people are extremely interested in, that can't stop watching it, that can't scroll, to really take off in the algorithm and really push your content. So,
yeah.
Anything else you want to cover with this, Hayden? Because I think that was a pretty good explanation when it comes to all this stuff. So
I know when we're talking full-time streaming, full-time content creator, even if you're only growing on TikTok and you have 500,000 followers on TikTok, that's still marketable.
Yeah.
There's still a fiscal amount of money to have on TikTok.
Yep.
It's, if not more, than YouTube's ad revenue and Google AdSense gives you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I mean, if you're going on those platforms, take advantage and like make a Patreon, make a website, give them exclusive content if you want to make that extra buck.
Yep.
And just grow that way if you want the money.
A lot of it isn't mainly just creating content as it is producing it, if that makes sense. Like, you can't just sit on your stream and not rip any clips. You could literally have a 2-hour stream and rip about 30 minutes of content, which you could post everywhere else, which I'm going to be honest, is a lot better of a strategy than streaming for 12 hours. So that just kind of shows you the power of content creation, not only just as a streamer. We talked about streaming a lot, but as a YouTube content creator, this should give you a pretty damn good idea on what to do. I mean, we covered a lot of the realness of YouTube, and we're going to get into more like actual strategies in these upcoming episodes that are going to be really important. But this is just a basic thing that I think every content creator needs to watch this exact episode all the way through, because of how just important it is to understand what beast you're going up against, so you don't fall into the same patterns that most content creators do, because then they experience burnout and they do not want to get back on posting. I know right now I'm going through a burnout phase. I'm actually back to square one again, where I'm trying to figure out a niche that I really do enjoy. So it can happen to anybody, guys. I've had success on YouTube and I'm still stuck on this part for the most part. So it's not a bad thing, but it also is something that you have to understand before you really tackle what you're doing. So anything else, Hayden? Because if not, we can.
No, I think that's.
I'm gonna say this was
wrap it up.
This was a really good episode. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Of course, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to Hayden at the Dryad on all socials. Correct? Is there an underscore in the middle of that for each one?
Yeah, there's an underscore
So
between.
the underscore Dryad should be the same as the name. You should see it somewhere in this podcast or on the authors.
Yeah, say it should be right below me.
Yeah. And then if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, mine is just Bradtown. Or you can obviously go into my YouTube comment section. Basically, any way you can reach me, just look up Brady Rupert on the internet. Feel free to contact me. I'm not a very private person. I do not care. Feel free to ask me any questions when it comes to creating, and feel free to ask Hayden, because he does know a lot more on the Twitch side. And, if you have questions on the YouTube side, me or him can also help. With that being said, hope you guys did enjoy this episode, of course. Feel free to stick around. Make sure you obviously subscribe to the podcast and follow our socials, and so you do not miss a video. And, just happy to bring you guys quality content. That's something that we are both very passionate about, is helping new creators. So hope you guys do enjoy it, and hope you guys all have a fantastic day, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Goodbye.